What is going on, guys? Undead Summoner here, going to drop you guys a guide on Resto Druid PvP in patch 7.3. I've had a lot of people swinging by the stream, asking about it, people that I've played with in game, random people, whispers, just a bunch of people asking. So I figured I'd drop a guide on my thoughts on Resto Druid and the way I play it. Resto Druid can be played so many different ways, so it's going to be a lot of stuff. It's going to be personal preference as well. So let's hop right into it. All right, for the level 15 talents, we have Abundance, Cenarian Ward, and Prosperity. Me personally, I have been playing the Healing Touch spec with Abundance, but Cenarian Ward is just as good, if not better. Prosperity is not going to be played as much, but it can be played with Soul of the Forest, and you get some pretty decent heals out with that. Level 30. Renewal, Displacer Beast, and Wild Charge. I have played all three of them successfully. In cases, let's say I'm fighting against a demon hunter that I simply cannot shake, can't get him off me. He's going to have 80 to 100% uptime at all times. I can take Renewal and hop into bear form and hit myself with a fat heal, and it works really, really well. Displacer Beast on a 30-second cooldown is fantastic. You get a movement speed after you use it. Works very, very well. Wild Charge works almost as good as Displacer Beast in my opinion. You don't go as far, but the cooldown is 15 seconds, so that works really, really good. You can use it with travel form, so switch into travel form and hop real quick with Displacer or Wild Charge. So all three of them can be played. They all three work really, really well in good situations, so you just kind of have to pick it. The level 45, we have Balance Affinity, Feral Affinity, Guardian Affinity. Almost always you're going to be playing Guardian Affinity because people like to swap to Resto Druids as soon as their hots fall off, so that is a thing. If you guys play one, then you already know. Feral Affinity can be played if you want to play a little ballsy in twos against like some caster teams like Shadow Priests or even mages. You can get away with running Feral Affinity simply because the movement speed and being able to shapeshift and get around corners works really, really well. And you can get some really, really nice damage out. Got a couple of clips where I'm getting 1.5 to 1.8 mil crits with Ferocious Bite, full stack, 5 combo points. So works really, really well. Balance Affinity, you're not going to play nowhere near as much. I don't think anybody would use it, so I guess you could if you wanted to. Like I said, it's all personal preference. Me personally, I'm playing Guardian Affinity. I think it's the best, followed by Feral. The 60 talent tree: Mighty Bash, Mass Entanglement, Typhoon. You're going to run Mighty Bash almost always, unless your team is just stun stacked and they don't need it. Then I could see a Mass Entanglement being used. Typhoon is going to be very, very rare, unless maybe you're playing on a map with a bridge or something and you just want to get a lucky Typhoon, knock somebody off, possibly win a game. I could see that happening. Mass Entanglement works really, really good if you're getting trained and you want to lead whoever's training you around a pillar away from their healer. Hit Mass Entanglement, root them both behind their pillar. They sit there for 8 seconds. Works really good too, but Mighty Bash is just going to be your go-to, in my opinion. 75, Soul of the Forest, Tree Form, and Cultivation. You're probably always going to run Cultivation unless you're running, I don't know, twos and you fight a mage rogue team in twos. I could see you running Tree of Life because not only does it stop polymorphs while you're in tree form, but the instant cast heals are very, very nice. So, and it lasts a really long time, so it's enough time for your DPS to land a kill. You can play Soul of the Forest if you run it with Prosperity, the level 15 talent. It's just not as good in my opinion as running Cenarian Ward or the Healing Touch spec. The 100 tree, you're almost always going to run Stonebark. I have seen people play Moment of Clarity. It works really good for mana. It's a lot better, but having Stonebark reduce the cooldown on Ironbark is just almost too good to pass up, and the healing buff that you get from it is really, really nice. All right, let's move on to the Honored talents. We have Gladiator's Medallion. Obviously, you're almost always going to run this. Adaptation can be played, but it's just too risky in my opinion, so I'm just going to stick with Gladiator's Medallion. The next one, Defender of the Weak. I feel like I run this about 80% of the time. Vim and Vigor has the games where it can be played as well, and it can actually be really, really good, but I really like getting those super fast cyclones off, and I also like the fact that I can get really quick healing touches off with the Defender of the Week. So I usually run this one, but Vim is really, really good as well. This third row, Disentanglement. I've seen people run it against mage teams to, remove roots like Frost Novas, things like that. But you're always going to be running Thorns or Druid of the Claw, in my opinion. Like I said, lately I have been getting trained into the dirt as a druid, so I have been playing Druid of the Claw. Thorns, it's really, really nice. The damage that comes out from it can be really, really good, but it can also force people to switch. So let's say you throw Thorns on your DPS, and then their DPS decides, hey, I don't want to burst into Thorns, so I'm just going to switch all of my shit to you. You just got to be prepared for hard swaps on Thorns. Next one, Cyclone. You're pretty much always going to take this unless you're running, I can see, with a Boomkin team who already has Cyclone, or Warlock teams sometimes want you to not take Cyclone because it does DR their fears. So in that case, you would probably run Deep Roots. Deep Roots works really, really well, and people will forget to dispel them because they think the roots are going to break on damage, and they don't. And I've landed a lot of kills running Deep Roots with Warlocks, so that works really, really good. The next one, you have Nourish and Revitalize are going to be the two that you're going to want to focus on. If you want to play the Healing Touch spec like I'm playing now, you're going to want to run Abundance with Nourish, and that allows you to not only get faster Nourish or faster Healing Touches off per the amount of rejuves that you have out, but it also applies one of your missing healing spells that the target doesn't currently have on them. So if you have just one rejuve out and you cast a Healing Touch, it might put a Life Bloom on there. You know what I mean? It just works really, really good. It helps you with mana as well. All right. And Revitalize if you're going to go Cenarian Ward. So if you want to go Cenarian Ward, swap over to Revitalize. That works really, really good. Okay, for the last one, we have Focus Growth and Overgrowth are going to be the two ones that you want to play. I have been getting trained into the dirt, so being able to go into bear form and then tank for a little while and then my hots fall off, and being able to just one-click Overgrowth puts all of the hots back on me, and I can switch back into bear the very next global. Works really, really good for tanking people. As far as heals in the long run, Focus Growth is definitely better. But if you're going to be getting trained, or you run into a team that like a Klepto Mage where they pull all of your hots off, Overgrowth is really, really good to just reapply all those hots instantly. So Focus Growth and Overgrowth are going to be very, very good. All right, let's move on to some of the macros that I have. Okay. All right, obviously I have Iron Bark and Thorns in one of my macros. I also have Thorns on my bar, so not macroing Thorns in there could work just as good. I really, really like to run Bash Nearest Enemy macro, which means I don't have to have anyone targeted, and whoever's closest to me, like let's say I was targeting this, I could just literally bash whatever's closest. So that works super, super good for me. It works just like a sap macro. So I don't even know if this is the exact talent. Let me see. Or this is the right one. No, it's right here. Here we go. This is the bash macro here. Okay. Let's see what else we got. I have Innervate for myself, as well as Innervate for one other party member. I have it in the other side of the macros. That works really good. Sunfire and Moonfire, I use this target of target, so whoever I'm healing, I can spam damage on the target that they are on. It works really, really good for Sun and Moonfire. I do that with Wrath as well. I love it. It's just, you don't have to switch targets or anything. You just hit whoever your teammate's on. Works really good. We have Dispel 1, 2, and 3 for party members. That works super good. Don't just have click Dispels. It's going to be terrible. You need to just get into the habit of Arena 1, 2, 3, Target 1, 2, 3, Enemy 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's just a lot better way to play. Okay, what else we got? Let's see. Bash. I have the Efflorescence macro, which removes the circle from Efflorescence, which is where the heck it's at. All right, see how it normally has a circle? This is going to allow me to instantly cast it with one button and remove the circle. All right, so let me find that macro for you really quick. All right, here we go. At cursor efflorescence. I also do that with vortex. So vortex, like if I wanted a vortex here, it just instantly throws vortex down. This is such a helpful macro, and you can use it on almost every class in the game at some point. So that works very, very well. Not a ton of macros for Druid. I have Root 1, 2, 3, Cyclone 1, 2, 3, and I'll leave those in the description for you guys as well. And Iron Bark 1, 2, 3 as well. So that's about it for the Resto Druid PvP guide. I'm going to move on to a section where it has some gameplay in it from one of the streams the other night, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.
I have no ring. Ugh. We shouldn't really lose this. I mean, we should never win if they're the best players ever. But